Chosen one. Anchor your spirit to every word I am about to say right now. That restlessness you have been carrying, the one that wakes you up before the sun rises and will not let you settle, stop running from it. The enemy is working overtime against your peace this week for one reason and one reason only. He knows what is about to land in your life. It all shifts in the next 24 hours. The waiting, the overlooking, the doors that seem to close before you could even knock. But here is what you must understand before anything else. This is not ending because of luck or timing or the right person stumbling across your resume. It is ending because of what you have already done in the dark when no one was watching. Think back to that moment this week when you almost sent the email, almost made the call, almost put yourself forward, but you pulled back. Maybe you thought it was fear. Maybe you told yourself you were not ready. You did not know it then, but that pause was not cowardice. That was divine positioning. Heaven was adjusting the geography of your opportunity before you stepped into it. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. God did. This is a divine appointment written into the fabric of your story before you ever typed a single word into a search bar. You are standing at a threshold right now, and the door on the other side of it has your name engraved into it. Stay until the very last second of this message, because in the next few minutes, I am going to hand you the exact spiritual decree that cancels the assignment of delay over your career. I am going to walk you through the zero compromise audit so you can identify the moment you already activated this breakthrough without realizing it. And at the end, I am going to give you a declaration that seals this new chapter open and locks the season of being overlooked shut forever. Do not scroll past this. The version of you that has been praying for a sign, asking God whether to keep going or let the dream die. This is the moment the answer arrives. If you leave now, you leave before the verdict is read. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. The atmosphere has not just been uncertain, it has been suspended. Like everything around you is holding its breath. Maybe you were lying in bed last night staring at the ceiling, running the numbers in your head again, calculating how much longer you can wait before something has to change. Or maybe you were sitting in a quiet room this week, scrolling through job listings you felt either overqualified or underqualified for, and a hollow feeling settled into your chest that you could not name. Or maybe you woke up at 3:00 the morning with your heart racing and a strange mixture of hope and dread moving through you at the same time, like something enormous was approaching, but you could not yet see its face. You feel suspended, like you are standing in a hallway between two rooms, the door behind you already closed, the door in front of you not yet open, and in that hallway, the enemy has been whispering a very specific lie. Listen carefully to your thoughts right now. He has been telling you that the reason the right opportunity has not come is because of something lacking in you. He has been replaying that interview you think you bombed, that position you did not apply for in time, that connection you let go cold, that season where you stopped showing up at full capacity because exhaustion finally won. The accuser has been building a case against you, using your own memories as evidence, telling you that because of those moments you have fallen behind, that others have been chosen over you, that the window for your elevation is quietly closing. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about your situation right now. Isaiah 22:22 says, "I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open." Listen to that promise. What he opens, no one can shut. The enemy cannot close a door that God has decided to open over your life. No hiring committee, no economy, no season of delay, no mistake in your past has the authority to lock a door that heaven has already assigned to you. The accuser wants you to believe that because of your stumbles, The key has been taken from your shoulder. But that is a lie constructed entirely from fear. You are not disqualified. You are being directed. The heaviness you have been carrying is not the weight of being forgotten. It is the weight of preparation completing itself. It is the final pressure before the compression breaks open into something new. That restlessness is not anxiety without cause. It is your spirit recognizing that the assignment is shifting and your whole being is being reorganized to carry what is coming. You think the pauses, the silence, the waiting were evidence that you missed your moment. Let me reframe your reality right now. Those were not delays, those were calibrations. And the new opportunity that is suddenly moving toward you is not arriving in spite of your story. It is arriving precisely because of it. There is something happening right now that most people are going to miss. Not because they aren't paying attention, but because they've been trained to look in the wrong direction. They've been watching the door that closed and calling it the end of the story. But God doesn't close a door without already having another one swinging open. The problem is, most people are so fixated on what they lost that they can't see what's being placed directly in front of them. And that's the real barrier, not the rejection, not the layoff, not the contract that fell through. The real barrier is the grief you've been carrying about a chapter that heaven already finished writing. Let that sink in for a moment. Heaven already finished writing that chapter. The ink is dry. The page has been turned. But some of you have been standing at the edge of that closed page, reading it over and over again, searching it for a different ending as if your prolonged attention to what is over could somehow reverse what heaven has already settled. It cannot. And more than that, your fixation on what ended is not just painful, it is costly. Because every hour your eyes are locked on the closed door, you are missing the movement happening at the periphery of your vision. You are missing the slow, holy, deliberate swing of a new door opening wider than anything you thought you were qualified to walk through. God is not wasting this season. He is not stalling. He is not confused about your situation. He is orchestrating something that your grief has been temporarily obscuring. And it is time right now, in this very moment, to lift your eyes and look forward. Think about Elijah. After his greatest victory after fire fell from heaven and the prophets of Baal were defeated, he ran, he hid in a cave and told God he was done. He was exhausted, depleted, and convinced his best days were behind him. And what did God send him? Not a pep talk, not a reminder of his greatness. God sent him food, rest, and a new assignment. The angel didn't say, "Remember what you did." The angel said, "Get up, because the journey ahead of you is greater than you know." That is exactly where some of you are right now. You've been in the cave of burnout and disappointment, convinced the silence means abandonment. But heaven has been preparing a table in that very wilderness. Elijah's story is one of the most searingly honest portraits of divine transition in all of Scripture, and it deserves to be sat with carefully. Here was a man who had just witnessed one of the most dramatic supernatural demonstrations in biblical history: fire from heaven. An entire nation's false prophets exposed and defeated, the glory of God made unmistakably visible. And yet, within what felt like moments, Elijah was under a juniper tree, asking God to let him die. That is not weakness. That is humanity. That is what genuine exhaustion looks like when it has been compressed for too long without release. And here is the staggering grace in God's response. He did not rebuke the prophet. He did not pull rank. He did not remind Elijah of the miracle he had just performed and shame him for his smallness. He sent an angel to touch him and say, "Arise and eat," twice, with food prepared fresh in the wilderness. That is a God who understands that the body and the spirit are connected. That transition is not only a spiritual event, but a physical one, and that sometimes the most sacred thing heaven can offer a depleted person is the permission to rest without guilt. If you have been in that cave, if you have been surviving in a season of quiet, unseen, unacknowledged depletion, know this: the angel is already beside you. The provision has already been placed. And the word being spoken over your exhaustion is not "shame on you," it is "arise." The journey ahead of you is greater than you know. Some messages don't just inform, they activate. If something stirred deep in your spirit just now, you may be ready to receive the Chosen One's blueprint. This sacred guide reveals the 8 divine patterns behind your calling, your suffering, and your destiny. It also comes with the full audio book, so you can absorb it during prayer, rest, or quiet moments with God. And for those called to speak His truth, you'll also receive Activating Your Prophet Mantle, a powerful bonus ebook for those carrying a prophetic assignment. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. Now, here's where it goes deeper. What you've been calling bad timing was actually divine repositioning. The job that ended, the opportunity that evaporated, the door that slammed shut, none of that was a mistake. It was a removal. And there's a difference between a mistake and a removal. A mistake is accidental. A removal is intentional. God doesn't accidentally close things. When He moves something out of your life, it's because it was occupying a space that something greater needs to inhabit. The question isn't why it ended. The question is, what is God making room for? This distinction between a mistake and a removal is one of the most transformative frameworks you can carry into your understanding of God's activity in your life. When we believe something ended by accident through someone else's poor decision, through the randomness of a broken economy, through the carelessness of a human institution, we become victims of circumstance. We build our narrative around a wound. We rehearse the injustice, the betrayal, the unfairness of it all. And while those feelings are real and valid, they are also a trap. Because victimhood, however justified it feels, anchors you to the past. It keeps you in a posture of reaction rather than reception. But when you begin to understand that what left was removed deliberately, surgically, by a God who sees the full span of your life from beginning to end, everything shifts. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" And you start asking, "What is being prepared for me?" That is not a denial of pain, it is a transcendence of it. It is the difference between mourning a season and being buried by it. God removed what He removed because He is a God of precision. He does not leave things in your life that will crowd out your destiny. He does not allow relationships, positions, and opportunities to remain past their appointed season simply because you are comfortable with them. He is too committed to your fullness to let you stay settled in something small simply because it is familiar. But here's the part most people never get to because they stop at the question instead of pressing into the answer. The answer requires you to do something deeply uncomfortable. It requires you to grieve the old season fully, not partially. So many people try to step into a new assignment while still emotionally living in the last one. They carry the wounds, the titles, the identity formed in a place that no longer exists. And then they wonder why the new thing feels like it isn't fitting. It's because you haven't fully departed. You're physically present in a new moment, but spiritually still standing in the ruins of the old one. There is a particular kind of liminal agony in being half gone and half present. You have physically moved, but your soul is still clutching the coordinates of a place that has been dismantled. You are trying to build a new life with hands that are still closed around what you lost. And the architecture of the new season cannot take shape until you open those hands. Grief, when fully entered and fully expressed, is not weakness. It is the process by which the soul releases its attachment to what was and prepares itself for what is. But partial grief is one of the most insidious spiritual traps there is, because it gives you just enough release to feel like you are moving on while actually keeping one foot anchored in the past. It lets you function. It lets you appear to be progressing. But beneath the surface, there is an emotional undertow that is quietly resisting every new thing God is trying to establish in your life. And you can feel it. You feel it in the way the new opportunity doesn't excite you the way it should. You feel it in the flatness, the hesitation, the faint but persistent sense that something doesn't fit, not because it is the wrong thing, but because you have not yet made room for it. And what's coming next in this message will likely surprise you, because it exposes something that masquerades as wisdom, but is actually the very thing keeping you stagnant. Ruth is the picture of complete departure. She didn't just walk away from Moab. She walked away from the version of herself that Moab had shaped. She didn't say, "I'll follow you as far as I'm comfortable." She said, "Wherever you go, I go. Whatever you face, I face." And that radical, unreserved departure was the very act that positioned her for a harvest she could have never engineered with her own strategy. The new job that is coming toward you right now requires that same kind of surrender. Not surrender of your dreams, surrender of your timeline, surrender of your method, surrender of your need to control how the provision arrives. Ruth's declaration to Naomi, "Where you go, I will go, and where you die, I will die," is one of the most stunning utterances of covenant loyalty in all of Scripture. But we must not reduce it to a sentimental expression of friendship. It was a spiritual severance. It was Ruth drawing a line in the sand of her own history and saying, "Everything that defined me before this moment, I am leaving behind." Moab was not just a geographic location. It was an entire framework of identity. It was the culture she understood, the language she thought in, the spiritual landscape that had formed her earliest sense of self. And she walked away from it without a guarantee of outcome. She had no promise of a field waiting for her in Bethlehem. She had no vision from God assuring her that Boaz would notice her. All she had was an inner conviction strong enough to override every rational argument for staying. And that conviction, that wholehearted, unqualified yes to an uncertain new direction, became the seed of the most extraordinary harvest. Boaz didn't notice Ruth because she strategized well. He noticed her because her reputation preceded her. Her character had traveled ahead of her into a place she had never been. And that is what complete departure makes possible. When you leave your old season fully, your character goes ahead of you into the new one. When you show up unencumbered by the identity your last season imposed on you, you arrive as something fresh, something unexpected, something that catches the eye of the very people God has positioned to open the next chapter of your life. This brings us to something most people miss entirely. Readiness isn't about having the right resume. Readiness is about having the right spirit. You can be the most qualified person in the room and still not be ready, because readiness in God's economy is measured not by credentials but by character. It's measured by whether you've been in the fire long enough to come out refined rather than bitter. Daniel wasn't promoted because he had the best political strategy. He was promoted because when they stripped away everything, his language, his name, his culture, his comfort, what remained was uncompromising integrity. What remains in you when everything is stripped away? That is what God is about to promote. This is perhaps the most countercultural truth in all of divine economics. The world around us has spent enormous energy convincing us that readiness is external. Get the right degree, build the right network, acquire the right skills, craft the right image. And while there is nothing wrong with preparation and excellence, in fact, those things matter deeply. They are not the currency of heaven's promotion system. Heaven is not primarily scanning your credentials. Heaven is scanning your character. Heaven is looking into the hidden places of your life, the places where no one sees, where there is no audience, where the pressure of invisibility reveals who you actually are rather than who you perform to be. And what heaven is looking for in those hidden places is the same thing it saw in Daniel, a spirit that cannot be corrupted by comfort, cannot be dismantled by loss, and cannot be bought by compromise. Daniel's Babylonian captors took everything from him that the world uses to construct identity. They changed his name, they changed his diet, they changed his language and his environment and his social structure. They were attempting systematically to reconstruct Daniel into a Babylonian. And what they discovered to their own bewilderment was that there was something in this young man that no external circumstance could touch, something that remained coherent and luminous even after everything else had been stripped. That something is what God is refining in you right now. And the reason the process has felt so disorienting, so stripped down, so relentlessly long, is because God is not superficially polishing you. He is fundamentally forming you. He is making sure that when visibility comes, it will not destroy you, because what is inside you will be strong enough to sustain what is outside you. Stay with me, because in just a moment we're going to uncover the hidden agreement you've been making with delay without even realizing it. Because here's the truth about the waiting season that no one wants to say out loud. The waiting isn't just preparation. Sometimes the waiting is a test of whether you'll maintain your standard when no one is watching, no one is validating, and no paycheck is confirming your worth. The enemy knows that a person who maintains their excellence, their integrity, their devotion in obscurity, is absolutely unstoppable when they are placed in a position of visibility. So the strategy against you has never been to destroy you outright. It's been to get you to lower your standard while you wait, to get you to become casual about your craft, to get you to check out spiritually because the manifestation is taking longer than you planned. And some of you have been drifting, not dramatically, not visibly, but quietly, just enough to feel the distance, just enough to know something shifted. The drift is rarely sudden. That is what makes it so dangerous. It does not announce itself. It does not arrive with a dramatic moment of decision where you consciously choose to abandon your standard. It comes in increments so small they are almost imperceptible. You pray a little less fervently. You prepare a little less thoroughly. You show up to your craft with a little less fire than you used to bring, and you justify it internally by saying that you're tired, that the season has been hard, that surely God understands. And He does understand. But understanding is not the same as endorsing, because the hidden agreement you make when you drift in obscurity is this: my standard is contingent on being seen. And that agreement, unspoken as it is a quiet declaration of distrust. It says that your devotion is transactional, that your excellence is a performance for an audience. And the moment God senses that your standard is conditional, the promotion that was prepared for you has to wait, because a conditional standard will not survive the pressure of an elevated platform. It will crack under scrutiny. It will fold under opposition. It will disqualify you not through dramatic failure, but through the slow erosion of integrity that began back in the waiting room when no one was watching, and you decided it didn't matter. And that drift is what God is calling you back from right now. Not with condemnation, with urgency, because what is coming toward your life in this next season demands that you show up as the full version of yourself, not the diminished, discouraged, caved-in version, the full version. The version that prays like the answer is already on its way. The version that prepares their skill, sharpens their gifts, and walks with expectation even when the evidence hasn't arrived yet. There is something electrifying and deeply sacred about a person who maintains their fire when there is nothing external to feed it. When you choose to sharpen your gift without a platform to display it, you are making a statement to heaven that your excellence is not for show, it is for substance. When you choose to pray with full engagement, when there is no visible evidence that prayer is doing anything, you are declaring that your faith is not based on outcomes, it is based on covenant. And those declarations, made in the privacy of your unwitnessed moments, accumulate into something extraordinary. They build a spiritual momentum that cannot be manufactured by external success. They forge a quality of inner consistency that becomes the gravitational force that draws the right opportunities, the right relationships, and the right platforms directly toward you. You have been praying for the breakthrough to come. God has been watching for the consistency to be established. And when those two things meet, your tenacious, unconditional, invisible faithfulness and heaven's perfectly timed release, what emerges will not be something you had to chase. It will be something that meets you, recognizes you, and rises to receive you. Coming up, the one reversal most people don't expect. The insight that reframes everything you thought you knew about why this new thing is arriving now. Now, once you understand that, you're ready for this. The new opportunity coming toward you is not just a job. It is a divine assignment wrapped in professional clothing. And this distinction matters more than you know, because if you approach it as just a job, you'll manage it with a job mentality. Clock in, clock out, survive, get paid. But if you receive it as an assignment, you'll steward it with purpose. You'll understand that every person you encounter in that new environment is there intentionally. Every challenge inside it is developing something in you. Every platform it gives you is meant to extend something beyond yourself. This is why God has been in no hurry, even when you have. He wasn't just waiting for the right position to open. He was waiting for you to become the kind of person who would walk into that position and transform it rather than just occupy it. This is the reversal most people never see coming. They spend the entire waiting season asking God when, and what they don't realize is that God's answer to when has always been, when you are the person who will not simply fill the position, but fulfill it. There is a version of you that could have received this opportunity 6 months ago and used it purely for personal survival. There is a version of you that would have walked into that room focused entirely on what the position could give you: the income, the status, the relief, the validation. And God, in His mercy and in His vision for something far greater than your personal comfort, did not release it to that version. He held it. He continued the forming process. He allowed the pressure to do its work until something shifted in you, until your motivations clarified, until your character deepened, until the thing you wanted stopped being about you and started being about the people you were called to serve through it. Because an assignment is always ultimately about more than the person who carries it. Joseph's assignment in Egypt was never really about Joseph's career advancement. It was about preserving an entire civilization, including the very brothers who had betrayed him. If Joseph had received that platform before he was formed enough to carry it with forgiveness rather than revenge, the story would have ended in catastrophe. The formation was the prerequisite, and so it has been for you. Nehemiah didn't just rebuild a wall, he rebuilt a people's identity. He looked at ruins and saw restoration. He faced opposition and responded with strategy. He prayed with one hand and worked with the other. That is the posture heaven is looking for in you right now. Not someone who just needs a paycheck, someone who looks at what's broken in their sphere and feels a fire to rebuild it. That fire is the indicator. If you feel it, that's not ambition, that's calling. Nehemiah's story is a masterclass in what it looks like to carry an assignment with both spiritual depth and practical intelligence. He wept over Jerusalem's devastation. He prayed and fasted for days before he ever opened his mouth in the king's presence. He did not rush. He did not react. He moved with the timing and intentionality of a man who understood that the vision was given to him not to execute in his own strength, but to steward under divine direction. And when the opposition came, and it always comes, he did not abandon the wall to go argue with his critics. He famously replied, "I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down." That is one of the most spiritually potent sentences in Scripture. Because every person carrying a genuine assignment is going to face the invitation to step down from the work and engage with the noise. The critics will appear. The mockers will strategize. The doubters, some of them well-meaning, will question your vision and suggest that what you're building is too ambitious, too idealistic, too far beyond your current resources. And your ability to remain on the wall, to keep building, to keep praying and working simultaneously, is exactly what determines whether the wall gets finished. You have been given a vision. You have been given a fire. Do not let the noise on the ground pull you down from the wall of what heaven has called you to construct. But let me challenge you with something, because this is the part no one wants to hear, and yet it's the very key. The reason many chosen people are delayed isn't because the opportunity hasn't come. It's because they've been subconsciously resistant to being seen. There is a form of spiritual smallness that hides itself as humility. It says, "I don't want to seem arrogant," while refusing the visibility God is trying to give. It says, "I just want to serve quietly," while secretly fearing the weight of the platform. And this disguised resistance, this fear dressed in the language of meekness, has been quietly closing doors that God was opening. Because God will not force you into a position your heart hasn't agreed to occupy. He is looking for the yes, not the resigned, reluctant yes. The wholehearted, terrified, courageous yes that says, "I don't feel ready, but I trust you." This is the hidden interior battle that most spiritual people are too embarrassed to name. Because it sounds noble to say, "You don't want to be seen." It sounds holy. It sounds appropriately modest. But beneath that language, for many chosen people, is something that has nothing to do with holiness and everything to do with fear. Fear of the scrutiny that comes with visibility. Fear of the responsibility that comes with influence. Fear of the gap between who you know yourself to be on the inside and who people will expect you to be once you step onto a larger stage. And that fear is understandable deeply, genuinely understandable. But it is not an excuse. Moses stood at the burning bush with every legitimate objection you can imagine. "I cannot speak. They will not believe me. Who am I to go?" And God answered every single objection, not by eliminating the difficulty, but by promising his presence within it. He said, "I will be with you," and that is still the answer. Not, "You are already fully equipped." Not, "This will be easier than you think." The answer is, "I will be with you." And that presence is the only credential you actually need. Stop waiting until the fear disappears. The courageous yes is courageous precisely because it is spoken in the presence of fear, not in its absence. And here's the unexpected thing beneath all of it, the thing that reframes everything. The new job that is coming isn't just about what you will do, it's about who you will become in the doing of it. God has never been primarily interested in your output. He has always been interested in your formation. The assignment is the crucible. The workplace is the workshop. The colleagues, the challenges, the unexpected turns, all of it is designed to excavate depths in you that comfort never could. You have been asking God to give you the thing. God has been trying to give you the person you need to become, to carry the thing without being broken by it. And now, finally, mercifully, powerfully, the two are aligning. The person and the moment are converging. And what you are stepping into is not just a new chapter. It is the chapter everything else was preparation for. Every difficult colleague you will encounter is an opportunity to discover whether the peace God has been cultivating in you is real or merely theoretical. Every unexpected complication is a laboratory for the problem-solving wisdom that has been forming in you during the silent seasons. Every moment of professional challenge is a stage on which the character that was forged in the fire gets to demonstrate what it is actually made of. This is why the people God uses most powerfully are almost never the ones who arrived at their platform with the smoothest journey. They are the ones whose journey was long enough and difficult enough and lonely enough to excavate in them a depth of compassion, resilience, and spiritual authority that cannot be manufactured in a comfortable life. The suffering was not punishment. The delay was not abandonment. The stripping was not cruelty. It was all curriculum. It was the custom-designed formation process for the specific assignment you carry, because no generic process could have produced the particular version of you that this particular moment requires. So tonight, place your hand on your heart and declare this with me. I release my attachment to how this was supposed to look. I release the grief of what ended, and I open my hands for what is coming. I break agreement with every lie that told me I was disqualified, overlooked, or too late. I declare that I am walking into my appointed season with clarity, courage, and wholehearted surrender. I am ready not because I have it all figured out, but because the one who called me has never made a mistake. The new assignment is mine. The new doors are opening. The preparation was not wasted. Every fire I walked through made me ready for this moment. And I will not shrink back. I will not drift. I will show up fully, faithfully, and with everything heaven placed inside me. My new beginning is not coming. It is already here, and I receive it now with gratitude, with boldness, and with absolute trust in the God who has never once let me go. If this message confirmed something your spirit already knew, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who is waiting for their breakthrough and doesn't yet know it's already on its way. Drop a word in the comments, even one word that describes what shifted in you today. And if you're ready to go even deeper into understanding your divine assignment, the link in the first pinned comment is waiting for you. This is your moment. Don't let it pass quietly.